Hey, so welcome to the video on how to create an Allspark from the Transformers movie. Now, the Allspark is about 6.5 inches on all sides. It's a cube. We're going to put it down just a little bit to about 6.25, 6 inches, and we're going to do that at 14.5 centimeters. It's going to be our dimensioning. So let's get down and get busy. First thing we want to do is we're going to go to Modify, and we're going to modify parameters. We're going to add a thickness parameter so that we don't have to type the number every time and make mistakes that way. And the thickness, I'm going to clamp together 10 pieces of plywood, use my calipers to measure them really well, and then divide that measurement by 10 to find the thickness of one piece. And that for me was 0.2665. Now that's going to depend on which plywood you're using, so you just select the wood you're going to be using and then just do that technique of measuring how thick each piece is. So here I'm going to say this is called the material thickness. That way I know what this means later. And yes, that's good. We're all ready to go. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to start our first sketch. So we're going to sketch out just 6 sides, 4 around the outside, top and bottom, 6 sides all together, all exactly the same size. And we're going to try and make them look as close to the same as possible. So our cube doesn't have a top, bottom, left, right. It's just wherever you put it, it looks pretty much the same. Okay, so to do that, we're going to just I grab onto the front face of there, but it doesn't really matter where you start. I'm going to click here. I'm going to get a rectangle, and I'm going to do it to 14.5 and 14.5 in both directions. Hit enter. So that's our basic face of the cube. So that's for me, that's my front face of the cube. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting in the tabs for it. So to do that, I'm going to just use the same sketch. And this time I'm actually going to start in the corner here. And here's what I want to do. I want to create it, because normally we might start in the middle and then go out. But that's going to make the left side of the cube look different than the right side of the cube, which means you're going to tell which way's up and down. Because this will be like cut here and cut here. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to start in one of the corners. I'm going to pull out a rectangle here to cut away. This, I'm going to just guess right now. Let's just say, let's try to make that 1.5. And this one is thickness, because it's got to be the thickness of the material, and enter. So that's my cutaway. Now what I want to do, instead of having both ends be the same, I want one end to not be cut. So let me show you what that means. I'm going to do a create rectangular pattern here. And I'm going to select these 3 sides. Now on this side, there's 2 lines there. There's the long line of the box and the short line of the cutout I want. To select it, if I hold down the left key for a couple seconds, it shows me these 2 options. I can let go of the left key, and then I can come select which one I want. And this top option, you can see the whole back line is blue. I don't want that one. I want just that one little bit. So I'm going to click on that one. So if you've got multiple things on top of each other, hold down the left click for a few seconds. It'll pop up with all the options that you can choose from. Just scroll down until you find the one that's the one you want. Now I want this to go down. So I'm going to pull this down this way. And now I'm just going to do what looks nice. So I'm going to zoom out so I can see the whole side. And I'm going to pull this one down. This is the strangest thing I'm going to do. I'm going to actually pull it right off the edge of this bottom one. And I'm going to zoom in to make sure I got on there. Yep. Notice how my last cutout is right off the edge. Okay, so now I'm going to increase the number until I get something where I feel like they're pretty well spaced out and look nice. That's pretty good. So it's going to be about like this. So here's the tabs. I'm going to have a cutout here. Then there's going to be wood, cutout, wood, cutout, wood, cutout. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to have 10 tabs in here, basically. So 10 things. So what I want to do is I want each one of those 10 things to be exactly the same width. Right now, this is 1.5, and all of these in between here is some other number. And then they add up to 14.5. But there are 10 of them, so if I make this 1.45, then they'll all just work out. Let's take a look. So I'm going to hit OK real quick. And if I'll just show you real fast. So I want the distance between the two tabs. You can see that's my piece, right? I want this distance to be the same. And right now it's 1.4 centimeters. I want this to be the same as the tab so that they're all the exact same length. So I'm going to fix that real quick. So I know I got to get 10 of these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do 14.5 divided by 10, and that gives me 1.45. So I'm going to double click on this. Oops, I'm going to close the measurement tab, the inspect window first. Double click on this and change it to 1.45. Now what that did is it made all of these I just patterned, made them all a little bit smaller, but didn't move the last one in. And then what I'm going to do is just do one more inspect just to make sure and go from here to here. And sure enough, it's 1.45. So now every hole that I'm going to cut is the same as every piece of wood. Awesome. Now that's important to have those two numbers be the same because the way we're going to build this is going to require that to be the case. Okay, so there's that side. Now notice how this one, at the top of this side is a cutaway and at the bottom there's a non-cutaway. So when I build this next side, what I want to do is I want to do the exact same thing, but I want to start with the cutaway in this corner, the non-cutaway here. And this is going to be easier because I know my measurements. So I know instead of, so that one's going to be thickness. And this one is going to be 1.45. Hit enter, and now I'm going to do just a rectangular pattern across the side. So again, I'm going to try and grab this one. Oh, I got it. This one and this one. And I'm going to drag it over till that side gets right on that line, just like that. So it's off the square. I want that one to be a done one. And I'm going to say 6. And I'm going to hit enter. And now just to make sure, I'm going to make sure there's 1.45 between them, which it should be. And from there to there, 1.45. Awesome. So now I'm going to do the same thing, except now I'm going to start this side. I'm going to start down here at the bottom where there's not a cut and go up here and have a cut. Notice how each side is kind of marching around the same around it. Okay, so here we're going to go down here at the bottom. That one's thickness. That one is 1.45. And then I'm going to create a rectangular pattern. I'm going to zoom in this one, that one. Whoops, wrong one. Unclick that one. Hold down my left so I can get the option of which one I want. And I want that one. Drag it up. Now if I'm smart here, here's what I'll do. All the sides are the same length. So if I just drag this into the right place and say, okay, so I need 14.5 next time for the right number. I'm going to put 6 here. So if I write this number down, I can just type that in instead of dragging it all around. I'll show you that in the last one. And I'm going to say, okay, that's all done. I'm going to do the same thing. Again, I'm going to start in this corner where it's solid wood. And I'm going to make the cutout in this corner. So 1.45 and thickness. Enter, create rectangular pattern, zoom in on it, grab this one, hold down my left click, choose the one I want. And now here I have to go. Now the blue arrow is saying go to the right. I want it to go to the left. So instead of using a positive 14.5, I'm just going to use negative. And I just screwed up. I pushed enter and I only got 3 of them. I needed 6 of them. So this little symbol here is my repeat pattern tool. I'm going to double click on it. And I'm going to change that 3 to a 6. So that allows me to get back in there and adjust it. And then I'm going to click OK. And now it's all 6 of them in there. Awesome. So now we're doing great. Last thing we have to do. So I can actually zoom in real quick and just check something. Yep, okay. We need to extrude this out into a real thing. Now we've created all these tabs on here. Watch how easy the extrusion is. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to do an E for extrusion. And then I'm going to click right in the middle. And I'm going to just extrude this out a thickness. And hit enter. And notice I just created it. And here's the nice thing, is each side looks identical. If I flip this, it's the same as it was, same as it was. So we're trying to create an Allspark where every side has the exact same pattern, so you can't tell what up and down is. We won't be able to pull it off perfectly with this design, but we'll get really close. All right, so the next video will start taking you on how to take this one piece and turn it into all the other pieces. Hang in there.